Unlock the power of your mind. This is Provocative Enlightenment with Eldon Taylor.
Welcome to another hour dedicated to understanding what enlightenment means and what it just might be to be enlightened. Indeed, an hour devoted to learning something more about ourselves, an hour for those who dare to challenge some of those old ideas about the world we live in and the people we have become. This is an hour for the adventuresome, willing to evaluate their experience as inseparable from their total knowing of reality. I'm Eldon Taylor, and this is Provocative Enlightenment. Every week we share some of your letters as our way of honoring the very important role you play in making this show successful. Dora wrote, "Hi, Eldon and Ravinder, love your shows and contributions." Alicia wrote, "I love your show. It's helpful information, and you're down-to-earth style, especially since my head is always in the clouds." Not a bad place to be with your head. David wrote regarding our InterTalk programs, "Thank you for all your work and research that has created these amazing processes for successful living." Anastasia wrote, that's a really pretty unusual name, isn't it? Anastasia. "Thank you so much, Dr. Taylor. I'm a great admirer of yours. I have purchased your subliminals, and they have worked very well. You are a godsend for those of us who struggle to get past our demons." And Jewel wrote, "I absolutely love your show and your honesty. I have a different question for you, Dr. Taylor. I recently caught the PBS special with Wayne Dyer about wishes fulfilled. He basically instructed everyone to use I am in their affirmations and spoke of the I am presence as God's presence, and therefore he said something like, it was not profane to say, I am God. I have several of your CDs, and you too use the I am phrase in your subliminal messages. Can you comment on that?" Well, I'm happy to do so, Jewel. The I am presence is generally given its modern historical beginnings to the teachings of Saint Germain and the ascended masters of the Great White Brotherhood. Guy Ballard and his wife Edna from Chicago, Illinois, founded the movement in the early 1930s. It is an offshoot of Theosophy and a major predecessor of several New Age religions, including the Church Universal and Triumphant. The St. Germain Foundation remains active and has a website offering a full range of learning opportunities. The teachings, however, that Guy and Edna drew upon as a part of their authentication come from the Bible. In Exodus 3 and 14, Moses asked the burning bush, God, for a name, and is answered this way, quote, God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. From this came the idea that since in the beginning there was only God, and God divided itself to become everything from no thing or nothing to everything, then the I am must be within all of us as well, especially since we are made in God's image. Now, the fact is, the idea of God dwelling within, as Jesus states in his remark that the kingdom of heaven is within, or my Father has many mansions, is perhaps even older than Moses. The ancient Vedic texts address Atman and Brahman. Sages addressing this notion in the Upanishads inform us of this equation. Atman, the unchanging eternal self, equals Brahman, the ultimate external reality that creates and sustains the universe. In other words, the Brahman is the quintessential Atman and resides within. Now, I was very aware of this when I first began my work with InterTalk. Indeed, I remember being asked about it in a Reno, Nevada bookstore following a presentation that I made on my first book, Subliminal Communication, and that goes back to the 80s. The power of the phrase, I am, as in, I am calm, I am confident, I am caring, I am healthy, I am at peace, and so forth, is believed to be special on spiritual co-creative grounds. That said, I've actually conducted studies and demonstrated repeatedly the remarkable difference between an affirmation said to yourself or through a subliminal program like, you are good, or the so-called egoless affirmations. They would be just one word, like healthy, happy, and so forth. Bottom line, I have incorporated this knowledge into all of my programs since the mid-'80s, and I consider it absolutely essential to strengthening our power to affirm anything. All right, that's all the time we're going to take for letters today, but I do invite you to opine by sending your email to eldon@eldontaylor.com or by joining me on Facebook. You can also just leave comments on my website. We can't get all of your letters on the air, but they do obviously impact our programming, and I thank you for your feedback and support. Now, I'm excited about today's show. I believe. The other day I did a radio talk show appearance. I've been doing that pretty well nonstop for this last week and a half or so, and the host, a Tennessee host, introduced me by first saying, I believe Peyton Manning would make a great Tennessee Titan. I believe it's going to shine today in Tennessee. You know, it was a wonderful kind of an introduction because that's a title to my new book. And today is the official launch of my new book, I Believe, When What You Believe Matters. And I want to begin the show by sharing with you my motivation for writing this book. I've spent over 30 years investigating why people self-sabotage or limit themselves, thus experiencing so much less than their highest best. What I have found is the reason rests solely in their beliefs, not their spiritual beliefs so much as their life beliefs, although the spiritual side of life becomes very important, and we may discuss that yet today. However, the book, I Believe, is not so much about that as it is about life beliefs. Now, I found this to be true when I was conducting lie detection tests and discovering criminality, and equally true when I work with elite athletes, business executives, professionals, and lay people alike. The bottom line is this. What you believe always matters. It's like a giant web that fastens itself to belief anchors, causing disheartening mediocrity in place of the glorious success that we all seek and that you all deserve. I Believe spells out the power of belief and how it influences everything from our health and longevity to our success with relationships and life. Astounding as it may seem, belief can and has defied our so-called laws of science, and it has done so over and over again. As ordinary and trite as it may also seem, belief nevertheless makes all the difference in success in all walks of life. Knowing how we acquire our beliefs and which beliefs serve us while others sabotage us is critical to maximizing our individual potential. I Believe, When What You Believe Matters, was written to empower you with a roadmap to decipher and rewrite the programming governing your life. And I Believe isn't just about such things as positive thinking, as important as that might be. It is also not a rehash of other great books like The Power of Positive Thinking, Psycho-Cybernetics, or Think and Grow Rich. What really sets I Believe apart is the depth of examination that truly reveals how our beliefs can be our best friends or our worst predators. This intricate web of our beliefs impact our lives in every area and is capable of determining even what we shall die of. Now, new research suggests that the key to improving our well-being is actually in a personality change. When I went to school, personality was supposedly fixed. It didn't change like IQ. Well, so much for that. Personality is changeable. The leopard can and does change its spots. We now know that change of this magnitude is possible when we focus on our beliefs and how we relate to the world. I Believe provides this concentrated focus, promising to thereby unlock vast improvements in our well-being. All right, with that introduction, Ravinder, tell us about the launch party, some of the wonderful endorsements given to us by supporters of the book, and then let's get into the content.
Sounds great to me. I am really excited about this book. This one, is a culmination, I think, of your work. It really does highlight the importance of paying attention to what you believe, but you did it in such an inspirational way that it becomes an easy read, but it's transformational. So that's just my opinion on it.
Well,
but
thank you. I like that.
Well, you're welcome. But we've had, this particular book launch has got some great support. Lindsay Wagner said of the book, I believe is one of those special books to be experienced and contemplated, not just read and the information recorded. Enjoy the journey. I did. And that is pretty much what I would say. It is a journey. And that is Lindsay Wagner. Of course, that's the Bionic Woman. But she is so much more than that she's just
incredible,
so much more than that.
Incredible person. She's been on our show. She's going to be on our show again coming up in the future. But, I have to add in here, too, because before I ever met you.
You had a life before you met me?
We've been together for
How dare you?
over 20 years. Back in those cops and robbers days, I remember her, and I remember thinking, she's hot. She's just hot, Of course, then I met you, see. But it is really wonderful to look back and think, this was an icon of my own, and she is giving the endorsement that she's giving. That's cool,
That has me excited too. She's an icon of mine, not because she's hot. I always thought she was sweet, actually, but maybe that's just the difference between boys and girls.
Well, she is that, and I have seen her in a number of movies now that you dragged me into originally. I have to admit that I like them, the chick flicks. I've come to like chick flicks. They tend to be much more rewarding, much more inspirational than the shoot 'em up bang bangs that I used to watch. Okay, so that's given. I've seen her in a number of really incredible roles, and she plays them very, very well. Where, for all intent and purposes, the movie is making, it's making a statement about something needed in our society. And, of course, now she's conducting seminars, and indeed, we plan on going to one. So very powerful seminars. At any rate, long story short is I find her statement particularly rewarding, I guess maybe because of how I related to her 30 years ago.
Yeah, but it's also, just a personal part. She says, enjoy the journey because she enjoyed the journey, and that's precisely how I see it too, so it encapsulates it really well. James von Prague also said, and if you remember, James was of course on the radio show last week, and he said, very seldom do we get a book which speaks directly to us, part life manual and part reminder of who we are. I believe will teach you ways to redirect your belief systems and live the life you always wanted. And that is great. Now, you will love the book. It is a great journey. It's light and easy reading. It's really inspirational, but it's full of science, too. You managed to find scientific evidence for the power of belief in really interesting places. It's not just the mind-body connection, which we're all familiar with, or the power of positive thinking that, especially at Hay House, we're all aware of that stuff, but you took it so much further, so many different places. I think it's impossible to read the book and not find an improvement in your life.
Wow, that's nice. I like that, especially coming from you. But now you've got other statements by, John Gray.
I'm yakking too much. I'm sorry.
No,
I like
you're
the
not.
book. What can I say? Okay, John Gray says, I believe is an inspiring book that shows you all the benefits of choosing your beliefs carefully. Cannot overemphasize that enough. And that is, of course, John Gray, the New York Times best-selling author of Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And that's a fabulous book as well. Larry Dossey, I'm a great admirer of Larry Dossey's work. He does a great deal on the power of belief. So when he says a book is good, then that's really important. But what he said, I've got to read this one to you, it's a little bit longer, is a new view of mind and consciousness is arising from within science and psychology. This emerging picture honors the belief, if I can read and speak, this emerging picture honors the power of belief, meaning, and purpose, and brings with it stunning possibilities of human potential. Eldon Taylor's, I believe, is a no-nonsense invitation to experience this domain for yourself. This book deserves a wide readership, especially for anyone who's interested in self-responsibility and prevention in health. In the end, it's this vision that will turn around our nation's faltering healthcare, which makes this book all the more important. And of course, Larry Dossey is, most interested in, the power of belief and health and wellness. So that's where his focus is. As I said, this book does go a lot further than that. But yeah, I do think this book can make some real changes. And of course, I believe is perfectly in alignment with Louise Hay's own work, which is all about believing in yourself and choosing carefully what you believe. It is so easy to take on, the beliefs of those around you or the beliefs of the media, and, it's gumbo season, or, life sucks and then you die, and all of that stuff. And it's impossible to avoid. You can turn off the TV, you'll see it on billboards. You could close your eyes to billboards, you'll hear it around you, you'll hear it from friends and family or just people that you pass in the street. So choosing your beliefs, paying attention to it is really vital, and I believe does a good job. I like your book, in case you hadn't noticed, honey.
Well, I'm glad you do. Actually, you're telling me a lot of things right now. I mean, people would think maybe you had a script, but you're running this all off the top of your head, and so I'm hearing a lot of things that I haven't heard before. And that's nice, very nice. You're blushing right this minute. I don't know why. All right. The book is I Believe When What You Believe Matters, on sale everywhere. Like I say, go to my website, eldontaylor.com. I want to remind you to like our Facebook fan page for Provocative Enlightenment Radio. I've been busy of late visiting bookstores and doing multiple media appearances preparing for today's launch. And this past Saturday evening, I was in Seattle speaking at a bookstore when several people commented that they only knew about the presentation because they had joined me on Facebook. Okay, now, as a fan, you will always know where we are and what's on next. I would also like to invite you to join me on Facebook while you're there. If you like our show, please do spread the word. We genuinely appreciate all of your support. And now one more point of business. Tonight, I will be joining George Nuri on Coast to Coast AM at 11 p.m. Pacific time. And we'll be chatting for 3 hours until 2 a.m. Pacific time. That's 5 a.m. for you folks on the East Coast. And a couple of you have told me you're going to stay up all night. So, gosh, I hope you're getting sleep before then. But I'd love to have you join us. I always enjoy visiting with George, and we have enough time in 3 hours to really flesh out a lot of detail.
What I wanted to ask you about, though, the book comes with a free Inner Talk CD. What can you tell everyone about that one?
It's got to be one of my favorites. I mean, the CD is I Believe. It is the Inner Talk technology, but, everyone that's listened to this CD absolutely loves it. The affirmations are powerful, and so is the music. This is something we would sell for $27.95 separately, like we sell all of our CDs. But, here, the affirmations are all designed to build a better you and thereby a better world. I believe in you, all of you out there. I have seen the nearly unlimited human capacity to do absolutely wondrous things. I know firsthand that leopards can change their spots. Imagine this world if we all believed in each other. Think of the Pygmalion effect. This is where, we might give a learning disadvantaged child to a teacher and tell them the child is gifted. The data instructs us that when this sort of thing is done, the belief the teacher has in the student somehow transforms the student, and they become a gifted child. Well, imagine if we all believed in each other and we welcomed the divine within each other in all of our transactions. What a different world we would live in. This, I believe, is possible, and it begins one person at a time. As Lao Tse's longest journey is one step at a time, the kind of world peace that inspired the idea behind the kind of world peace that inspired this CD would require one person at a time. I think the saying has become the change that you want to see in the world. Anthony Federgati and I, a friend of mine from Germany, a few years ago, sat in a restaurant and discussed the problems of the world and wanted to know what we could do to maybe make things better. And this idea of creating a program and building a platform that would spread around the world in multiple languages was spawned. So I believe in you. Now, let me talk about the music for a minute. Carla Reed is the musician, the pianist behind this music. In my view, she channels music, but she says she doesn't channel it. It's just inspiration. But here's what happens. She sits down and plays whatever comes through her. And if you don't record it right then, it's gone forever. Lucky for all of us, the music on the I Believe CD was recorded, and it's truly magical. It's majestic. So let me play just a couple of minutes of the CD for all of you, and then we'll get Carla in here to say hello. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd pay $27.95 just to listen to that music. When I first heard it, it played in my office. Carla, I was at a holistic fair, and Carla gave me the music. Just, here, take it and play it. I put it on in my office, and I listened to the entire thing. I replayed it again. I stepped out of my office, went down the hall, got my wife, said, come back here, you've got to listen to this music. Magical in my view. What do you think, Ravinder?
I absolutely love it. It's perfect for what we do. I could play her music. I often get tired of music, but I can play Carla's music. I have actually played Carla's music almost nonstop for the last 2 months now.
Well, we've put a lot of it now on several of our titles because we love it so much, but we ended up buying a whole lot of her music. But she is a marvelous musician, so let's get her in here because we've also got some phone calls I'd like to jump to, all right? And we haven't even talked about the book. So Carla Reed, welcome to Provocative Enlightenment.
Thank you. I'm absolutely delighted to join you.
So how do you come up with this beautiful music?
Well, sometimes I'll get like a little melody that'll just sort of be in my heart, and I just sit down, I start playing with it, and the remarkable thing is sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to play until I sit down, and it just seems to flow out of me, flow out of my heart, flow out of my spirit, and I just let it flow, and so sometimes I'm surprised as anybody else to hear what comes out. And fortunately, I have a little recording system on my piano, and that's how I capture it.
I can't even imagine what that must be like. I mean, have you ever just sat down and something came through you and you forgot to push the record and then it's gone?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, some of my best things I don't even record. Because it seems like sometimes once I hit the record button, I'm suddenly self-conscious about it. So I think some of my best things probably are not recorded, but it is wonderful just to be able to sit down just for the sheer joy of playing.
Excuse me. I've actually had the pleasure of having you in my home. You're working with my wife, and she's learning to play the way you play right now. So I've heard you play live, and I mean, it's incredible just to see you take off and play something that has never, ever been played anywhere on the planet before. It's never been written, and here it just comes out of you, and it is so perfect. It is, unbelievable in my view.
Thank you. Well, the funny thing is, I can't even play it again. It's like once I've played it, I maybe hear a little bit of the melody again. I don't think we ever do really play or sing the same song twice anyway, but it is wonderful just to sit down and just let it take off. I love being able to do that, and I love being able to just give this out to people and let it be part of your work. I'm just thrilled to be included in this, and I trust CD will be a huge blessing to many, many people.
I'm sure it will. Now, let me do this. So before we jump off and go to some phone calls, you tell everybody how they could reach out to Carla Reed. What is your website? Once they get this music, they're going to be like me. They're going to be like my wonderful wife. They're going to want more. So, tell them how they can reach you.
Well, the best way to reach me is through my website. It is www.soundthatheals, SOUND, soundthatheals.com, or you can also go to my personal website, which is carlareed.com, and that's Carla with a C, and Reed is REED, carlareed.com, and they can order through the website or they can call me. Thank you.
That's a fact. Carla, do you have any last words real quick like?
Well, I just want to say I do consider it a real honor to partner with you on this book, and I do love the book. I am a bookaholic. I have books. I always tease people that's because my last name is Reed. But part of it, what I loved about your book is what I call the readability. And it's there's smaller chapters, and it's like they just focus in on something, and you can just go after them. And it's like I wanted to read one, and then I had to read one more, and it was just carried me through the book. So I absolutely love the readability of the book besides the content. In fact, my son, who is 26, read the whole book in one day, and I think that's great that young people are interested in the book and can change their beliefs and establish good beliefs before they even, get too far along in life. So,
especially those nitty-gritty ones that'll come out. Thank you very much, Carla.
Thank you.
You're a wonderful woman, and I love your music. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. God bless everybody.
Yeah, thank you. All right, let's see. I mean, we haven't even talked about the content of this book, but we have a faithful fan who has been holding for over 40 minutes now on line 2, and I want to take line 2 and welcome Mary Ellen to Provocative Enlightenment. Hi, Mary Ellen. Are you there? Well, perhaps we've lost Mary Ellen on line 2. All right. Well, let's go to line 1. See if we can't work through some of these phone calls. We have Deidre from Concord, California. Welcome to Provocative Enlightenment, Deidre.
Hi, Eldon. Thanks so much for taking my call. I'm so looking forward to getting your book. I have been struck with the I am and the I believe over the last few weeks. My life is I'm in transition. I'm losing my home, and I'm moving into a new one, and I'm starting a new career and rebuilding my life. And I was wondering if you could recommend which of your Inner Talk CDs would probably be the best one for me now. I don't know if it's Self-Esteem or the I Believe will be enough, but I'm rebuilding my life and would really like to have a birthday coming up, and I want to treat myself to something wonderful.
Well, there are some programs that I tell everybody to begin with, and Forgiving and Letting Go is the first one. I think it's a foundation because whenever there are changes going on in our life, it's natural for us to, we're raised in a world that actually teaches us to blame circumstances, to look at cause and effect. So letting go is an integral part of going through change. We also have a program that is accepting change, that empowers the process so that I engage it positively and I remain in that positive. Strategic planning and peak performance would be pretty important programs for what you're looking at. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a package together for you, Deidre, and I'm going to send it to you. You're going to have to stay on the line. Our producer will take your number, your data down, your address, etc., and I'll see that package goes out to you.
Happy birthday to me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, happy birthday. That's exactly. You stole my lines. That's what I was going to say next. You said you wanted a birthday present. Well, happy birthday from all of us at Hay House Radio. How's that, Deidre?
Oh, thank you so much. I so appreciate it.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you join us. Thank you, and you have a great birthday now, will you?
Will do. Thank you so much, Eldon.
Hang on. Remember to stay on the line. All right. Listen, Ravinder, we've only got 2 minutes. So is there a final word that you want to say about this show, this book?
I would say go get the book and then drop me an email. Tell me what you think of it and tell me how it's improved your life, because that's what it comes down to is the practical. It's like how does it make my life better? And it has transformed mine, and I would like to hear how it transforms yours in whichever direction that may be.
And I would like to add this. I would personally like to see every one of you get a copy of the book. I do honestly believe this is my best work, and I do honestly, in my heart of hearts, know that it can change your life. It can give you a power, an understanding that it's taken me more than 30 years to acquire, and I don't know too many people that are in our world today that have the kind of grasp that is necessary to lead you where you need to be. I think the only way you get there is through yourself, by yourself, and the only way you're able to do that is to get into yourself, understand yourself, and understand the whys, the hows, and the whats behind that. And I hope the book, I believe, does indeed render that power to you. All right, well, again, I take it as a personal favor if you'll get the book, but we've come to the end of another hour of Provocative Enlightenment. Yes, very quick.
And to get the book, just go to eldontaylor.com.
All right, until next time, wherever you are in the world, you'd better believe that believing in yourself always matters.